I'm in a new location. This one I can't tell you. This one's a secret. This is a really big secret. This is one of my favorite spots to come out to. At least once a year, we come out here with my mom too. Say hi, Mom. Mom's behind the camera. She can't hear me. She can't hear a thing. That's okay. Anyways, this is the 4th installment of my, well, video blog essays, Confessions of a Dog, Part 4. It all works out in the end. It always works out. It gets better. I can't remember what I make the title, but along those words, it's going to get better. Okay, so I don't really write scripts for a lot of this. I usually come out, like I usually do, get my camera set up. I usually get lost looking in the sunset, and I just kind of keep going with it. Anyways, let's kind of get into this. So, what do I mean? It's just going to get better. It's going to be okay in the end. It will get better in the end. It always works out. Everything always works out. And I was so caught up in my own head for a long time. And I mean like years. We're talking like 5 years, maybe 6 years. I was just in this loop, this anxiety loop over and over and over of, what do other people think? What are other people gonna say? You know, I'm always worrying about other people, and all these awful things. And it's really draining. It's really mentally draining. And it's frustrating, and it gets you, and you get into this really awful cycle. What I'm trying to say with that is, you kind of got to let that go at some point. You have to learn to grow, to give up, and move forward with your life. Move forward with those feelings. And I know that's really scary. That's weird. I hate growing sometimes. I hate moving forward with new things in my life and new people because I'm nervous. Everybody's nervous. I get really nervous all the time. I get nervous about going to work, getting up in the morning. I get nervous about what I'm going to make to eat. And that might be small things for some people, but for maybe someone like me, that's a really big thing. Or someone like you, that might be a really big issue in your life. And I don't want to say issue in a bad thing, because you kind of just get there in the end. You got to work through that, and you got to figure it out. It will get better. Whatever you're going through, it does get better. And that's coming from somebody who is like crazy depressed. And I'm not going to do anything stupid. What I mean by that is, I've been through so many weird things. I think everybody has. Everybody's kind of gone through their own weird things, their own personal life, and get wrapped into it. There's so many people that I've been talking to recently that are so different, maybe online, their online presence, and I'm meeting creators or just fun people and friends, and then we start talking and it's totally different, and we mask so much about all these problems, all these different things that are going on. And I always hear the same thing. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I don't know how I feel. I kind of just want this to be over. I hear it so much, and that's not a bad thing. Why I'm saying that? It's a human experience. It's such a deep human emotion that we all share. You are not alone in this. You are not, singled out to be this one person just experiencing that. Everybody experiences that. Everybody gets scared. Everybody gets nervous. Everybody goes through all sorts of change in their life. And, I'm kind of rambling again. But what I'm saying is, we are all experiencing the same things. I don't care who you are. We're all human. We all kind of have that in us. And we all experience the same things. Like I've said before, we experience the same sunsets, the same beach, the same water. We all experience the same things. This has been really lovely. It took me about maybe, I want to say 2.5 hours to get here. I'm still not saying where I am. This is my spot. This is my perfect spot. I'm going to gatekeep that for so long as I can. I don't mean to gatekeep it because I'm an asshole. I'm a bit of an asshole sometimes. But this is kind of my spot to decompress and think about those things. Anyways, let's get back on topic. It gets better in the end. I said that already, but I really, really, really want to go deeper on that. I got caught up in my head about so many things that I couldn't control for a very long time. I got so caught up about these weird, made-up circumstances where, I felt weird about somebody, and I read the situation completely wrong. They were fine with me, but I thought they weren't fine with me. And for such a long time, I kept thinking, oh my God, I don't want to talk to this person. I don't want to interact with this person because I'm scared. But it was stupid. It was so stupid and silly because none of it was true. None of it was actually real, and none of it was actually happening. I got so caught up in my brain about something that just wasn't actually happening, something that wasn't real. And it got better. It got better every time. Every time that I've kind of worked through that, it got better, so much better. Recently, I ran into some friends that I haven't seen in a very, very, very long time, and I didn't talk to them because, again, I thought, oh, maybe they haven't reached out, they don't want to talk to me, maybe something happened. Nothing actually happened. Nothing ever happens. Nothing actually happened. We happened to lose contact, and some of those other people, we did have contact, but it felt like there was so much distance between us. And when I finally kind of ran into each other on weird circumstances, I'm like, hey, how are you? How have you been? How are you doing? And it was so refreshing to hear, I'm doing great. I miss you. We haven't talked in so long. And then it hits you. I was in my head the whole time about something I couldn't control that never actually happened. It gets better. It always gets better. You know, I was talking to a friend recently, and he was very, very upset. You know, he's struggling to hold down jobs and, you know, all these other different problems in his life. And I remember thinking, I'm like, wow, this is something that I've also experienced. For a long time, I struggled to hold down jobs. I struggled to hold down my schoolwork. I struggled to do really anything. And I was always kind of set on this path of, it's never going to work out. It's never going to be okay. It's over. We're not making it. And the further that I kind of kept going and just trying over and over and over again, it clicked. It hit me. And I finally landed the opportunity that I was looking for. I landed a job that wanted me. Not a job that I wanted. A job that wanted me and my talents and my abilities. And I've been there for 2 years now. I've been doing the same job, learning new things, different jobs sometimes within that job, and it's been incredible. It gets better. It always gets better in the end. Don't give up on those experiences. Don't give up on, because you missed that one shot. You miss 100% of the shots you don't take. Everybody's heard that. Maybe you haven't. Maybe it's your first time hearing that. You miss 100% of the shots you don't take. Not the shots that other people take. You have to take that shot. Take that shot in the dark and keep going. And yes, be excited to be rejected. Be excited to not kind of get through what you want. Prepare for the unexpected. Expect the unexpected. I love that so much. Just not really being sure where I'm going and just kind of going, cool, let's run it. I talked about that in another video. It always gets better. It always just gets better. Something silly. I bought a van recently. I bought a really cool Japanese van, and what am I trying to say with that? It's been a piece of shit. It's been broken and little things, and I was so caught up in my head about, oh my god, this poor little van, it's gonna cost me so much money, it's never gonna run. And then I realized it always gets better. It always works out in the end. And I've been fixing my van. I've been putting just a little bit of time, a little bit of effort, and it works, and it runs. What am I trying to say? Put a little bit of time and effort into yourself, a little bit of time and effort into the people around you, and maybe even put a little bit of time and effort into finding what's right for you. There are so many missed opportunities, I think, because we as people, we get so wrapped up about, well, I'm expecting failure, so I'm going to get failure. That's so wrong. That is further from the truth as far as you can get. If you don't try, if you don't at least keep pushing, you're never going to get where you want to go. It won't get better. But if you do at least try, it gets better. it works out in the end. Holy crap. It just works out. There are so many areas in my life that I could apply that to. There are so many people that I could, be a broken record about and talk and say the same thing. But I'm not going to do that. I'm not here to do that. I'm not here to force you to listen to this. I'm not here to just tell you how to live. It's just a suggestion. It's always a suggestion. I don't want to push that. Let's see. There has been, again, so much going on in my life since the last time I made a video, which was last week. And so I said, you know what, this week, I'm going to make another video. I'm going to go watch another crazy sunset, and I'm going to enjoy it, and I'm just going to have some fun with this. I'm going to see where it goes. And I love doing this. I love coming out here because every time I can come out and watch the sunset, it feels like I'm kind of letting go of everything from the day previous. The one thing I can guarantee, that sun is always going to rise, it's always going to set. I can't guarantee a lot of other things that are going on, but that I can guarantee. And I like to think, whenever I see beautiful sunset like this, that's my sign that the day is just closing out on me. That's it. We're going to let go. We're going to move on. We're just going to figure it out as we go. Sometimes you just got to let go. Sometimes you really just need to let go. And I know it feels like it won't be okay. It will be okay. It always works out in the end. Sometimes it's a little scary, and there are going to be people that are going to tell you it's not going to work out. It's over. You're screwed. You're fucked. All of that. It does work out. I've done it 100 different times, and each and every single one of those 100 times, it always worked out. I always made it out alive. And that's why I'm still here. I am living proof that it works out. There are so many scenarios, situations, instances where I wasn't sure if I was going to make it out. I wasn't sure if I could do it, if this was going to be the last sunset. But it's not. I've been going on for 24 years. I don't know how many days that is, but that's a lot of sunsets. That's a lot of sunrises and sunsets and letting it all just kind of gone, letting it go. A really important thing that I also wanted to add to this video, and I didn't really get explained too much in detail in my last one, was actually too about grief. I have been processing a lot of grief in my life recently. Again, with friendships, relationships, things, places, letting go. And it's something I really love to talk about. I had a comment, and it was along the lines of, I think it's really interesting how you process grief and how you work through that. And I kind of sat and I thought, and I was like, yeah, that is kind of interesting how I process grief through that. What I'm trying to say is, it is okay to let go. And I know it's scary. I know it's weird and it's frightening. It's really frightening. Scary might not even be the word. It is frightening to let go, because maybe you're losing that anchor. Maybe you're losing that person in your life that's been around for so long, and they're just gonzo. They're gone. And it's not something you can control either. The more that you try to control that process and you try to let it, stretch it as long as you can, you're going to get caught up in, again, things you can't control. You're going to hurt yourself. It always gets better in the end. It always works out. Everything always works out. It is so amazing. And I can't believe I had another opportunity to come out and make more videos. I really hope this strikes, the right way, strikes the right chord, and I kind of get to go through what I wanted to say. Another thing, I'm just kind of getting all my thoughts out because I'm losing the sunset. I'm really hungry. I'm really thankful. I'm really thankful right now that it all worked out in the end, that it all got better. I'm so thankful that I've been meeting new people. I said the same thing last week. I'm still meeting new people. I'm still making new friends. I'm still growing and working through all of this. There's so many great experiences that I have yet to experience. There are so many things that I have yet to work through and grow from and maybe tear myself down and rebuild through. And that's okay. That is totally okay. Okay. Well, I think I'm starting to lose the sunset, but the one last thing I wanted to say before I close out was that you are loved. And I mean you specifically. You are loved. You are cared about. There's always going to be somebody that cares about you. Just you. And you might not think that is true necessarily. You might be worried or wrapped up in trauma or all these disbeliefs about not being loved. You are truly loved. There's always going to be at least one person on this planet who loves and cares about you and desires you specifically. Anyways, I think it's about time that I bounce, and I think you know what I'm going to say. Honestly, I don't think I'm actually that nervous anymore. I don't think I'm that scared, and I'm so thankful to grow from these experiences. Anyways, till next time.